Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to my 2010 year in review of the Sonic the Hedgehog comic book. Basically the 2010 Sonic comic book review. Now, in this review, we're just going to take a look at some of the highlights and things that a lot of people felt were kind of weren't really necessary, felt were hits and misses, and just a lot of other things. And I think one of the first ones we got to look at, honestly, is the Iron Dominion story arc. Now, the Iron Dominion story arc, as many of you know, started at basically right at the end of issue 200, right at the end, the last panel, last page, and it dominated the majority of 2009. Now, not only did it dominate the majority of 2009, it dominated almost nearly the first half of last year, of 2010. Now, a lot of fans were kind of had mixed reactions, mixed feelings about this. I mean, a lot of fans were kind of like, were happy at the fact that we had a different direction for the book. We were having a different villain. There was going to be something different. You actually had a villain that felt more like a threat and all that because of the fact that the villain had this techno magic and they could control anything technology-wise. So, that was pretty cool. Cool, in my opinion. So that obviously was pretty cool. Not just in my opinion, but I'm pretty sure in their opinions. But there were also some that weren't just indifferent about it, but there was some that just felt as though it was too long of a story arc, that it really wasn't doing much for the book. Well, let me explain something to a lot of people about that. It did more for the book in certain aspects than you think. First of all, it showed that New Mobotropolis wasn't as secure as people thought it was. Second of all, it showed that even the being that was the main creator of New Mobotropolis, Nicole, was vulnerable. That's why even she was vulnerable to the techno magic of the Iron Queen, who was the new villain. And how was this possible? Well, around 209, I believe, 209, she ended up controlling Nicole. That's right, around, I think it was 209, I believe, she ended up controlling Nicole. That's right. For 209 into a little bit of 210, she controlled Nicole. And it showed you that Nicole wasn't probably as powerful as a lot of people thought she was. Which has had a fallout, which give credit to this comic, it's actually caused fallout with a certain character that some people like. And that's Mina. Because let's take a look at the last two issues, if you will. Mina, or Mina, however you pronounce her name, has had a recurring nightmare of Nicole losing control again. And she feels as though Nicole could end up doing that once more. Nicole could lose control. So, if you have a fallout and one of your, not main characters, but a supporting character that shows up every now and then, that's very popular with the fans, I'm sorry about the bird in the background, but it's very popular with the fans, and even though she's kind of on and off in the comic, you think to yourself, well, why is she the one that's having the nightmares? What's going on? honestly, in my honest opinion, I said this in my monthly opinions and everything, and even my review. In my monthly opinions, in my reviews, I believe what Ian's doing is he's turning in somewhat, he's somewhat turning Mina and Ash into sort of like the John Lennon and Yoko Ono of the comic book, but with the roles reversed, with Mina doing the majority of the singing, and Ash being there not only singing as a manager but as a supporter. Now, that's kind of unusual sometimes for a comic book, even if it's a comic book like Spider-Man or X-Men or Batman or Superman. You know, you don't ever have like a supporting character ever having a fallout from what's happened with one of your main characters, like Nicole. So, and having fear that what happened to the main character could happen again. Again, sorry for the bird in the background. But you don't really have that much. And much happened. And to me, something's going to come out of this eventually. Now, other things besides the Iron Dominion dominating the first half of the year with the rest of the story arc, was also one of the things that spun out of the story arc was the Monkey Kong Sally relationship. Now, the Monkey Kong Sally relationship, well, I'll just tell you this, there was just like a reaction I think you wouldn't believe. Sonic Sally supporters weren't happy about it, Sonic Amy supporters were. People were indifferent about it, and people like me were like, we'd seen this before in other forms of media with other shows and comics and movies. We know it's not going to last. And it's like, I even pointed this out many times in my reviews and my opinions. I said it's basically like the Monkey Kong was kind of like the Zach Morris of the story arc. He was, Zach Morris from Saved by the Bell, and his relationship with Sally was, I compared it to Zach's relationships with two girls that he only had, whose relationship with him only lasted as long as the story arcs they were in. For example, the Hawaii Saved by the the Saved by the Bell Hawaiian style only, the girl character in there, I can't think of her name. Amber, I think that's what it is. Amber, I don't know if that's the name or not. But her relationship with Zach only lasted for the movie. Now, did the writers give us a hint that there could be a future for them? Yeah, they baited us with a hint that they could still get together, but nothing materialized. Another character was Stacy in the spin-off episodes of in the summer episodes of Saved by the Bell, when the characters had summer jobs at this beach resort. Zach Morris and the Stacy girl fell in love with each other, but their relationship only lasted as long as the summer episodes, as long as the summer story arc. And again, the writers did bait us with the fact that this still could be a future, because both kind of like made promises that they would either go out for Thanksgiving, that Zach would either go out east for Christmas, and she would come out west for Thanksgiving or something like that. But again, even though they baited us, nothing materialized. Nothing materialized, and the same could be said for Sally and Monkey Kong. Their relationship only lasted for as long as the story arc, even including the spin-off story arc, Journey to the East, or Journey to the West, or whatever it's called. It only lasted as long as this entire story arc. Now, does Ian bait us into the fact that something else could happen? That they could still get together? Yes. But is anything yet to materialize? Not yet. But will it? We never know. But again, it's called baiting. Doesn't mean that, let's say Ian officially does make Sonic and Sally a couple and then breaks them up again, that Monkey Kong's going to swoop right in and say, "Come with me, Sally, and join me in the Dragon Kingdom." He's not going to do that. No. No, mainly what Ian has done is what other writers have done. He's baited us. He's baited those that hope for Sally to disappear from the comic, go with Monkey Kong or somebody else, leave Sonic with Amy. He's baited them. He's baited them. He's baited them. He's baited them since that last page in 207. He's baited them. That's what he did. He's baited the Sonic Amy supporters with that last page. So, again, will anything materialize out of it? That is yet to be seen. Now, what else has come out of 2010 for the Sonic the Hedgehog comic book that's, really stands out? Well, we find out that believe it or not, this has actually been hinted at by Robotnik, and now it's being used by the writers and the editors of the comic for the anniversary issue, that Robotnik stated in 210, even though he was in a cell and slowly regaining his sanity, that he had figured it all out. What had he figured all out? We don't know. Now, besides that, what else has materialized out of 210? Out of 2010, I should say. What has materialized out of last year? How about the fact that for the rest of the story arc, for the rest of the year, one of the things that materialized out of last year was for the most of the year, if you were a Linda fan, or Linda fan, Linda, who was one of the femme fatale villains in the comic, you didn't know exactly what was going to happen with her, because the last time you had seen her before the end of the year, she had gotten blown up. Basically, the Iron Queen had detonated a bomb in her cybernetics and basically blew her up. He basically blew her, I think, half face off or something. I don't know. So now, fans of the character were left wondering, what is she going to look like? Well, we find out that Robotnik, Eggman, if you will, has restored her to what she looked like, but with the fact that inside she's more cybernetic than she's ever been. And she has new limbs and all that. But give the writers credit at the fact that they had us, that if you were a fan of the character, they had you hanging on for most of the year. They had you hanging on. They made you think something was going to happen. They made you think, oh, is she going to look like Dimitri? Is she going to look like something else? What? The answer is none of the above. But also it makes you hold your breath, because a lot of fans of the comic look at Linda lately as one of the main villains. And a villainous character that's come a long way. And to see her, and to see the fact that she could be dead, you think to yourself, you gotta be fucking kidding me. You gotta be fucking kidding me. Right? Well, Ian answered our questions, didn't he? But that's not the only thing that materialized out of 2010, I should say. Another thing that materialized out of 2010 is the fact that Sonic and Sally, as well as Big, that's right, we saw Big return last year in the two-part story, Raining Cats and Dogs, We saw them become honorary members of the wolf pack thanks to the new Grand Chief. That's right, the Grand Chief, Lupe, or Loop, who we didn't even know was going to be Grand Chief, because the last time we saw her, she was just a leader. We didn't know they'd say, hey, let's make her Grand Chief. There you go. Which was pretty cool. But what also came out of last year with the story arc is that Cat Clan that we'd seen in some of the Knuckles stories basically had a feud with the wolf pack, and now they have a truce thanks to Sally. And we also find out that two former members of the wolf pack, well, one former member of the wolf pack as well as one former member of the Cat Clan, are now Dark Egg Legion Grand Masters. That being Drago and Talon, or whatever his name is. Or Razorclaw, whatever, yeah, Razorclaw. I can't even think of his name. So that's pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Another thing that materialized out of 2010 was the fact that we were actually introduced to Bunny's family finally, or at least part of her family, her Uncle Beauregard. But here's the thing that Ian did that made it really interesting. He made her uncle a Dark Egg Legion Grand Master. To the point that at the end of the two-part arc, they acknowledge the fact that the next time they meet, they'll be fighting each other, not as family, but as enemies. Real interesting to take one of your main characters and make them have a more personal reason to want to defeat Robotnik once and for all. Other things that spun out of last year, well, Tails got his own spin-off adventure in the Sonic universe, along with Antoine, where he co-starred along with Antoine and Bunny, which was from what I understand, from what people said, was pretty cool. And again, besides the majority of what I mentioned, and the fact that we ended the year with finding out that St. John is obviously the traitor people have been talking about. So, and finding out that St. John might have more to him than we think. You know, to me, I honestly have the opinion that maybe he's just using Naugus so that Naugus can accidentally or inadvertently restore King Max to his, well, basically heal King Max and restore King Max to his former glory. That's what I'm thinking. But apparently there's been an association with St. John and Naugus for a while, so. But a lot of these things coming out of 2010 make you wonder what 2011 is going to have. What this year is going to have. This new year is going to have. So, it's a lot to look forward to. I mean, we got a Silver story arc coming out in Sonic Universe. We have Sonic and Sally probably getting officially back together next month. I mean, we have the Silver story arc, final issue of the story arc tying in with the anniversary issue 225 of the comic book called Sonic Genesis. So overall, it looks like it's going to be a very interesting 2011. Very interesting. And to me, 2010, it was an okay year. It was an alright year for the comics. I mean, the first half, like I said, was dominated by the majority. The first half of it was dominated by the Iron Dominion story arc. But again, you got to expect that. You got to expect that, and it's not the first time it's happened. Because it's happened before when they did Sonic Adventure. It took a 48-page special to help continue that story, the adaptation of the game. And other comic books out there, like Spider-Man, X-Men, Batman, Superman, have all done similar things. So it's not the first time, it's nothing new. And also the fact that we were hinted, like I said, I just mentioned this moments ago, at the fact that Sonic and Sally are going to be back together, probably officially by next month, maybe, at the end of the Iron Dominion story arc. Now I know a lot of Sonic and Amy supporters of this are like, Ian just gave us a big FU. Because like I mentioned earlier, at the end, on that last page of 207, he baited fans. He baited two sides. Because for those that were new to it, he baited everybody into thinking Monkey Kong and Sally were going to be a couple for a very long time. Again, like I said, it was only for the story arc. And then I guess in the eyes of the Sonic Amy fans, he baited them into thinking they were going to be a couple now, but nothing materialized. And basically to them, it's like he gave them the big, fuck you. I'm going to do things the way I want to do it. No, it's called evolution of a comic book, and it's called strong fan support, strong fan base. And obviously, despite what some people may say, when they held the contest to see what side was stronger, either Sonic Sally or Sonic Amy, Sonic Sally obviously won out. And a lot of Sonic Amy supporters probably feel as though, oh, that's messed up. That's fucked up. Excuse my language. But they're probably saying, that's fucked up. That's not true. That's all work. That's all fix. Really? Really? Is that what you guys think? Because I know a lot of people say, well, the reason he wants to support Sonic and Sally is because he and Archie Comics hate Amy. How can they hate Amy when they made her basically a leader in Sonic and Sally when they basically made her a leader in Sonic and Sally's place? How can they hate her if they're making her the main character of the Treasure Team Tangle spin-off or Treasure Team Tangle story arc in Sonic Universe? How can they hate her? Huh? They don't. They just go by what is a stronger fan support. And you gotta remember, Amy showed up in the comic book in the 25th issue. She didn't show up right away. Some people may say, oh yeah, she did show up before Sally in a Magna, and even there was a girl before her. Guess what? The girl that was before her got scratched out of the continuity, period. Alright? Now, like I said, if they hated her, would they have done that? No. No, they wouldn't have. It's called strong fan base, despite what people say, because Sally was in the comics before Amy. In these comics, before Amy. She was in Sat-AM, and she was the main love interest in Sat-AM, not Amy. So you gotta realize that. So he is not giving you the big fuck you. He's just showing you through this and through other Sonic Universe, Sonic comic book material, that it's about the fan base. And that's all it is. Now, what else came out of 2010 besides that? How about the Sonic the Hedgehog comic book debut of Cream the Rabbit? That's right, cream and vanilla and cheese are now officially in this comic. How will they be used beyond the Sonic Universe story they're in right now? I don't know, but we'll soon find out. We'll probably soon find out. But to me, 2010 was, like I say, it was an okay year. It wasn't the best year, but it was an okay year. A lot of revelations took place. A lot of things we didn't think were going to happen did happen. Now, what does 2011 have to set forward for us? Well, like I said, there's a lot of things to look forward to. Silver is getting his story arc, and his story arc's final issue is going to coincide with the 225th anniversary issue of the main comic. What else could happen? Well, it looks like Sonic and Sally are back together possibly by next month. Maybe. It looks like Knuckles makes his return to the comic starting next month. Mina or Mina, despite how, no matter how you pronounce it, and Ash look like they're being turned into the Yoko Ono and John Lennon of the comic, and all because of Mina's situation she has about Nicole. I think that's going to be worked out next month. But, and in St. John, We don't know exactly what his role is going to be. We don't know, like I said, if he's using Nagas to help restore King Max, or if he's really just been a bad guy the whole time. So, 2011 looks like it's going to be a hell of a year. We'll just have to wait and see. And apparently it looks like a character may die this year. But what character? Well, we know he's not going to be one of the main characters, but what character, supporting-wise, could it be? Some people are thinking it could be some people are saying it could be Max. Some people are saying it could be somebody else. We'll soon find out. But also the highlights of 2010, one of the highlights when it came to the comic book was the fact that really stands out in my mind was Ken Pender's lawsuit. Yeah, that really helped out, right? What happens? Archie Comics near the end of the year countersues him. So we'll see what materializes out of that in this upcoming year. So, yeah, that was one of the main highlights, and like I said, how did that help him? It only got him countersued. But really, that's all I can say about the year 2010 as far as the Sonic comic book goes. And as far as 2011 goes, like I mentioned, everything that I mentioned, the story arcs, the tie-ins from Silver to Anniversary Issue to Sonic and Sally to St. John's situation to Mina's situation, I think it's going to be a hell of a year in front of us. So I thank you all for watching. I apologize for my coarse language, and hope you'll have a safe and happy 2010. Hope you have a safe and happy 2011. Not 2010, not anymore, it's 2011. So hope you have a safe and happy 2011. God bless, take care, peace.